Virtually every major player in the media game has had something to say about the events that are going to transpire tomorrow when former President Donald Trump turns himself in under indictment. Now, the only indictment that really matters here isn't Donald Trump's. The only indictment that matters is the American people. That's the reality. Because 30 years ago, 40 years ago, maybe longer, just being charged with a crime carried with it a stigma that it doesn't carry today. Going back even farther, that stigma was even worse. Well, in today's video, we're going to cover this, and we're going to show why, and also show how it's tied to a prediction that this channel made way back in 2018. You see, in crowds like this that support Mr. Trump, they don't care. They no longer care like they used to, and that's the mistake that's being made by those in New York, those in D.C. They still think it's a big deal to the American people, that it will somehow move the needle just being charged. How many of you have papers in your local neighborhoods where you wake up and they have a section where look who was drunk last night, or look who got arrested last night, or something to that effect, trying to shame people who haven't technically at that point been convicted of a crime. They've only been charged with a crime. Now, real quick, those of you who would like to join us over the Florida Maquis Patreon channel to support us, would really love to have you there. It's only $1 per month. That's it. Even less if you sign up for an entire year. And that's really kind of the difference between Patreon and here. Here, we have to conduct ourselves as if we are perfect, as if we are all without flaw. And nobody can make a mistake, and nobody can hurt anybody's feelings. That's what all of the mind-numbed zombies out in the central coast of California have in common with all of those up east. Any imperfect person out there, anybody who's ever had a problem, well, we can't amplify that message. No, we only have to amplify who we think the perfect people are. Well, guess what? Guess what? Capitalism confirmed. If you'd like to get the real story, if you'd like to meet real people who talk about real ideas in real terms that aren't so pretty and flowery, join us, or join your favorite creator, whether it's Patriot Nurse, whether it's Jennifer Veterans for Truth, whoever it is, join them on behind their paywall platforms. You'll get a whole new image of them over there because they don't have to worry about that. 1 in 3 American adults have had this experience. Whether they were actually convicted of a crime or not, being arrested, being detained, being put behind bars, possibly going before a judge to answer the charge, so to speak. 1 in 3 adults for something. That's not how 1 in 3 has, actually been locked up or convicted. That's arrest records. Now, way back in 2018, the algorithm of this platform jumped on a series of videos that I did and absolutely wanted to promote them because it had this, of course, this platform has an agenda, YouTube. It was an allegation that I made that during a grid down, power down, collapse type situation, one thing that governments would do is they would begin releasing prisoners en masse. Those prisoners would, because of their experience, gravitate towards places that hadn't invested in a lot of security. Places that most people thought were safe, where they could blend in, where they could disappear again, where they wouldn't have to worry about their pasts catching up with them. And it was really strange. 3 of my top 4 videos and 5 of my top 7 videos, view-wise, have to do with this topic and people's opinions on it. Here are the statistics. Let's see if I can speak English. Military veterans, a little over 20 million. NCAA attendance, 2014, all levels, about 50 million. Houses with a dog, looks like about 55 million. Married couples, a little over 60 million. Obama voters in 2012, allegedly. Looks like pushing 65 million. Persons with arrest records pushing 70 million. It looks like it's almost on par with people who have a bachelor's degree. The only thing it gets outstripped by are obese Americans and homeowners. You see, that's the key. Now, you ready for the mind-blowing part of this? Let's go back to 27 April 2021. Florida Maquis, why do you watch CNN? Know thy enemy. Know their mind. Know what they're thinking. Know why they're thinking. And more importantly, learn that so that you can catch them in their own traps, in their own words. Nearly 70 million Americans have criminal records. We must give them a second chance. Really? Including Donald Trump? Including Donald Trump. He doesn't even have a criminal record, technically, just at this point, what will be, he'll be arraigned. And I guess technically they will probably enter in some type of an arrest record. An enduring belief in the American dream has powered decades of innovation, inspired generations of entrepreneurs, and driven the economic growth of our nation. But that dream is fraying for the nearly 1 in 3 U.S. adults, or 70 million Americans, who have a criminal record. For many of these individuals, a criminal record poses a significant barrier to employment, even when the record includes only a misdemeanor arrest or conviction. Regardless of their qualifications, these individuals struggle to participate in the American workforce and contribute to their families and society. And there's an opportunity cost for employers as well, who are unable to benefit from the talents of tens of millions of, you ready for this, qualified candidates. Many second chance candidates who have fulfilled their justice system obligation are ready to pursue a career. However, research published by University of Michigan shows that minor felony records have large negative effects on employer callbacks in response to job applications. It's not surprising that formerly incarcerated people experience a 27% unemployment rate in 2018, the highest rate in our nation's history. When people are given a fair opportunity to participate in the workforce, now, I won't read all this for you. You get the point. You see here, Jamie Dimon, Craig Arnold, the people they have shown here, they're talking tongue-in-cheek about minorities. They're not saying it, but that's what they're aiming at, because you have to look at the date, 27 April 2021. They would never publish this now because people might think, oh, who's about to have well, Trump's going to have a criminal record if he gets convicted of these. And I mean, should we give him a second chance too? Does that go for all criminals? Would you? See, I made this very controversial allegation that there's going to be a lot of guys out there who've done everything right. Pretty much everything right. They have been the boring, steady Eddie husband from, who remembers the movie The Ref? The Kevin Spacey father character from that movie, The Ref, from many years ago. They've been that guy. They've paid the bills. They've worked the 9 to 5. They've put in the overtime occasionally. They haven't missed their car payments. They haven't missed a mortgage payment. They have good credit scores. And they like to occasionally go out for some ice cream. They like to occasionally go for a ride. But they're boring. They love to take a nap on the couch. Meanwhile, there's this group of guys. Life for them has been a little bit more interesting, a little bit more exciting. They've done some things they're not proud of. And they're going to be out running around. A lot of these guys that are sleeping on the couch that have done everything right don't realize they are one fight away. One fight away from having the door locks changed and somebody else moved in with their wife. A lot of people are like, oh, Florida Maquis, you're overstating it. Don't doubt me. Don't doubt me. This is what's happening. This is what's coming. You see this was Prince Charming to somebody at some point. This was somebody's Prince Charming at one point. But all that's kind of fallen apart. And that's why we're on fire right now. There's a big shift happening. A huge shift happening. And a lot of people talking about how much better they might have it. How the American dream just isn't what they thought it was. And they're going to make a change. And there are going to be a lot of guys that are going to be shocked to come home to scenes like this. Now, we'll talk about this in another video about how no one out there should be participating in or enjoying any more Anheuser-Busch offerings. I think a lot of you already know why. I was never a big fan of Bud Light to begin with. But Anheuser-Busch is the parent corporation, and as we know, when they do stupid stuff like this, we vote with our money. Now, I'm going to let you guys go look up what Bud Light just did and why you should not purchase any more Anheuser-Busch products of any kind until they bring Bud Light back into line and show them the error of their ways. So I guess I want to ask CNN, does this apply? Does this giving people a second chance apply to Donald Trump? Even if he's guilty. Even if he's found guilty or not. Or the fact that he's just been charged. How many of you out there? I know I have a lot of older folks in my audience. It's a very rare group of people that spend this amount of time on YouTube at this age group. How many of you remember when just the idea of being charged with certain crimes, whether you had your day in court or not, made people look at you in a very different light? See, that used to mean something. It used to mean something. Now, it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. There's amazing statistics out there now that show crime numbers overall in the country have gone down, but because of the way the media has portrayed crime in high crime areas, the vast majority of Americans believe crime is up all over the country, when it's not. When you look at it, the country as a whole, it's actually down. But in certain areas, high crime areas anyway, those areas are up, but it's farther down in areas where it's safer. So the separation is beginning to happen. So this would be my only worry about how this goes tomorrow. It's not about him. It's not about the porn star. It's not about the hush money. Who cares? In the grand light of things going on, 60-year-old man, 30-year-old woman have 3 rolls in the hay over a period of, and this is according to her, 3 rolls in the hay over, I believe it was about a year and 4-month period. That's it. That is all this is about. Over about a year and a half, they, on 3 separate occasions, had 3 little 1-hour events, and this is what we're talking about? And a measly, I know a lot of people could use $130,000 right now, but over a measly $130,000? Big deal. I mean, my goodness. If this is what people are worried about, it's more of an indictment of America. But anyway, you don't need $130,000 to join us at the Florida Maquis Patreon channel. You need $1 US. That's it. And trust me, if you don't want to, if it's not the Florida Maquis Patreon channel, go check out how many of your favorite YouTubers, how many of your favorite personalities have a Patreon channel, and go see what the difference is. Go spend $2, $3, $5. I think you'd be amazed at the difference. So I will leave it there. God bless. Have a wonderful evening. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.